That American passport you've got tucked away. For decades, it's been a golden ticket and all-access pass to almost anywhere on the globe. But that era is quietly coming to a shocking end. While you've been searching for flight deals, a silent revolution has been reshaping the world map. Borders that were once wide open are now being fortified with digital walls, unexpected fees, and strict new rules. This isn't some temporary reaction to world events, it's a permanent global shift. All around the world, from the ancient streets of Europe to the serene temples of Asia, countries are fundamentally changing who gets to visit. Entering 2025 without knowing these new rules is like driving into a minefield. The real question is no longer where you can go, but if you can go at all. First, let's talk about the biggest change coming for American travelers. The European Union and the United Kingdom are building a digital fortress around their borders. For years, you could just book a flight to Paris, Rome, or London, flash your passport, and walk right in. Those days are officially over. The EU is rolling out its European Travel Information and Authorization System, or ETIAS. It's not a full visa, but it's a mandatory pre-travel approval. Before you even think about booking a flight, you'll need to fill out a detailed online application, pay a fee, and wait for a green light. The UK is doing the exact same thing with its Electronic Travel Authorization, or ETA. The British government says it's to create one of the most secure borders in the world. But what it really means for you is that the seamless travel you took for granted is gone. Spontaneity is being replaced with screening. This is a fundamental rewiring of freedom of movement, affecting over 1 billion people who used to travel there without prior permission. But this digital paperwork is just the beginning. Some places are being far more direct with their message. Imagine a city so fed up with tourists that it launches an official campaign telling them to stay away. That's exactly what's happening in Amsterdam. The city is desperately trying to shed its reputation as a non-stop party hub. They are now actively targeting online searches for things like Stag Party Amsterdam with ads that warn rowdy visitors to go elsewhere. This isn't just a PR stunt, it's backed by steel-enforced policy. In a move that sent shockwaves through the travel industry, Amsterdam banned massive cruise ships from its city center, citing pollution and overcrowding. They're also working to shrink or even relocate the infamous red light district. The message couldn't be clearer. The city is taking back its soul for its residents, and the type of tourism that once defined it is no longer welcome. And while Amsterdam is telling certain tourists not to come, in other parts of Europe, it's the residents themselves who are taking a stand. The writing is literally on the wall. In cities across Spain, from Barcelona to the Canary Islands, graffiti screams tourists go home. This isn't just a few angry artists. It's a full-blown residents' revolt. For years, the boom in holiday rentals turned vibrant neighborhoods into sterile hotel zones, causing rent prices to skyrocket and forcing locals out. Now they've had enough. Tens of thousands have marched in the streets under slogans like "The Canaries have a limit," a turning point that has forced politicians to act. Barcelona has completely banned the creation of new tourist apartments in its most popular districts. Residents complain that the tourism boom has come at their expense, and they are reclaiming their cities street by street. But what happens when protests aren't enough? Some cities are now forcing you to pay just to walk their streets. Venice is sinking, and it's not just from the water. It's being suffocated by millions of day trippers who flood the narrow alleys, take a few selfies, and leave without contributing much to the local economy. After years of warnings from UNESCO, the city took a drastic and controversial step. In 2024, Venice became the first city in the world to charge an entry fee. On peak days, day trippers now have to pay just to set foot in the city, with fines for non-compliance running into the hundreds of dollars. This isn't about making money. Officials say it's about survival, and it's not just Venice. Florence has banned all new Airbnb-style listings in its historic center to fight the hollowing out of its residential core. This sets a shocking precedent where historic cities are being treated like museums you have to buy a ticket for. But for some countries, the problem isn't just about crowds. It's about a clash of cultures. Japan has a word for it: Kanko Kagai tourism pollution. After reopening its borders post-pandemic, the country was hit by an unprecedented wave of visitors. But in a society that values order and respect, the behavior of some tourists has caused a deep cultural friction. The situation got so bad in Kyoto's historic Gion district, home to Japan's geishas, that authorities took a shocking step. They completely banned tourists from the private alleys where the Geiko and Meiko live and train, citing what they called paparazzi-style harassment. Meanwhile, on the iconic Mount Fuji, the most popular trail now has a daily cap of 4,000 climbers and a mandatory $13 fee to prevent environmental damage and overcrowding. Japan is sending a clear message: our cultural and natural treasures are not theme parks. But if Japan is trying to manage the crowds, one kingdom has decided to almost eliminate them entirely, creating the world's most exclusive travel destination. Welcome to Bhutan, the tiny Himalayan kingdom that has essentially turned itself into the world's most exclusive VIP club. The country has long pursued a policy of high-value, low-volume tourism, but after the pandemic, they took it to a breathtaking extreme. The government shocked the world by raising its mandatory Sustainable Development Fee, or SDF, to a staggering $200 per person per night. After some backlash, they adjusted it to $100 per night, but the deterrent remains. This fee is on top of all your other travel costs: hotels, food, guides. It's a fee you pay just for the privilege of being in the country. The government explains that the money directly funds Bhutan's free health care and education, meaning every tourist trip is an investment in the nation. But it's an investment that prices out the vast majority of would-be travelers, effectively making Bhutan a private playground for the world's wealthiest. While Bhutan prices out most tourists, other destinations are cracking down hard on those who get in but don't follow the rules. Bali, the famed island of the gods, has completely lost its patience. A string of viral incidents: tourists posing naked at sacred sites, drunk driving, and visa violations has forced the island to take drastic measures. The spiritual paradise is fighting back. As of 2024, there's a new $10 tourist tax to fund cultural preservation. But more shockingly, the government has created a special task force called Bali Basic with the sole purpose of cracking down on and deporting misbehaving foreigners. Huge billboards at the airport now greet arrivals with a list of do's and don'ts, making the new strict code of conduct impossible to ignore. The message is simple: respect our home or you will be kicked out, and this crackdown isn't just in Bali. Thailand is systematically dismantling its famous visa run, where foreigners would pop over the border for a day to extend their tourist stay for months on end. The anything-goes atmosphere is being systematically erased. This isn't just about bad behavior, either. There is a growing global movement to make tourists pay for the one thing they often come to see: nature itself. New Zealand has decided its stunning landscapes are no longer a free-for-all. Before even arriving, most visitors now have to pay a $22.50 International Visitor Conservation and Tourism Levy. The government is explicit that this money goes directly to maintaining the country's famous hiking trails and protecting its fragile wildlife. They are shifting the role of the tourist from a simple consumer to a stakeholder responsible for preservation. France is following a similar model. To visit natural wonders like the Calanques National Park, you now need to reserve a spot online in advance. It's free, but access is strictly limited to prevent overuse. And in Greece, the government has finally stepped in to control the colossal cruise ships that overwhelm islands like Santorini and Mykonos, capping the number of visitors allowed per day. It's a brave new world where paradise comes with a price tag and a reservation. So, what does this all mean? The world isn't closing its doors entirely, but it is setting new, non-negotiable terms for entry. The golden age of spontaneous, carefree travel seems to be over, replaced by an era that demands more planning, more money, and most importantly, more respect. Digital walls are going up, entry fees are becoming the norm, and local communities are fighting back against the crowds that have overwhelmed their homes. Your actions as a traveler matter more than ever. The old mindset of simply showing up is being replaced by a new reality where you have to prove you deserve to be there. The question for the future is a big one. Is this a smarter, more sustainable way to see the world, or is it the end of travel as we know it?